The Philadelphia Eagles, their offense is already talented, but they just acquired former first-round pick of 2 years ago out of Penn State, Jahan Dotson at wide receiver from the Washington Commanders. Now, rarely do you see a divisional rival trade a player to an opponent, but the Eagles gave up a third-round pick for Jahan Dotson, so this is a huge, huge move. Now, mind you, the Eagles receiver room has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and now has Jahan Dotson. Well, the Speak Desk receiver room, it has DeSean Jackson, 15 years, James Jones, 9 years.
Pretty good place to start a receiver room.
Really good place to start. I got a quarter century of receiver experience to my left, including a couple Super Bowls. So if you're going to have this conversation, no better place to have it than where we're having it right now here on Speak. Consider it an honor. Let's dive into it. Jack, you played for the Eagles. You are an Eagles legend. You played wide receiver for the Eagles. Any conversation about Jahan Dotson without you in it is irrelevant. So let's start with you in it. Will anything be able to stop this Eagles offense?
Nah, I mean, I know James is going to sit here and kind of fight me on this one, but I don't think so, man. I think we beefed it up a lot.
Yeah.
I think we obviously, without Jahan Dotson in our building, we were the #1 receiver core in the league. I said it. You know, I got my boy A.J., I got my boy Devontae Smith on the other side. I just think it's another addition. You know, he play in a slot. I think he's very different than the two receivers we already have. I think you put him in a slot and you just put him on one-on-one safety. I mean, one-on-one coverage with the safety. So for me, I think, you know, this helps my guy Jalen Hurts. This is a big year. We talked about this is a redemption year for him. It's hefty, man. So we just gonna make it, like I say, we gonna make it a little easier. We gonna add an extra little piece to the puzzle on my end.
I love it. Well, before you get going, James Jones, Jack, I want to demonstrate via tape what you just referenced. Colvin Heller in production. Can y'all please take this? I want the 25 years of NFL experience to my left to talk through what I'm about to show the audience here at home. Not only are you hearing it from DeSean Jackson, I want you to see it firsthand. Now, what you will get from Jahan Dotson is the Eagles' #3 receiver, now able to beat safeties primarily. Jahan Dotson, he is going to be right here at that #3 position. The defense, the Eagles actually in this picture, they are going to be in man-to-man coverage. What that very simply means is a safety, which DeSean Jackson just referenced, is going to have Jahan Dotson, who the Eagles just acquired, in man-to-man coverage. Jack, he got to win, don't he?
Hey, he going to kill that safety, man. Ain't no safety going to be able to come down and guard my boy,
You
man.
can't guard a safety on a #3 receiver, Jahan Dotson. This is why the Eagles acquired him. Jahan Dotson doesn't have to be better than cornerback 1. He does not have to be better than cornerback 2. What Jahan Dotson simply has to do is understand when defenses are going to be in what we call man-free coverage. It's man-free because this safety at the top of the screen, he's a free safety. Jahan Dotson, all he has to do at home, he just has to be able to beat safeties, family. He just has to be able to beat safeties. That is why, as you bring us back on camera, Eagles fans should be excited. D-Jack, do you want to expound on that? Obviously, you got busy in the National Football League from the slot, from the outside, anywhere they put you. How will Jahan Dotson help elevate the Eagles?
And I like the odds. I mean, honestly, if I'm a #3 receiver, and we both know, you know, I've been a #1 receiver in my career. Obviously, James, you have too. I mean, coming out there, man, you got a safety on you. It's not a 4-3 guy. It's not a 4-4 guy. Safety's usually 4-5, 4-6. I know my boy Dotson got some speed, so for me, my eyes lighten up. I'm looking at the quarterback. It's like hard eyes. Like, man, you see who guarded me right now? So at this time of point, I'm like, it's a mismatch, and we all know that when you got a safety on you, man, hey, licking them chops, you know, indeed, we about to eat big.
Gotta eat.
Yo, Elliott eat.
In the slot,
James Jones, talk to us, big dog, because you now got Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Mailata up front, along with so many others. Landon Dickerson, can't forget about him. And Jalen Hurts is the point person for all of the glory around him. So what in the world will stop the Eagles' offense?
The only person that can stop the Philadelphia Eagles offense is Jalen Hurts. They have given Jalen Hurts everything he needs. This is the year. Whatever we think about Jalen Hurts, some people think he's a really good quarterback. Some people think he need to work on this. Some people think he's not that good. This is the year. This is an offensive football team now. This is not a defensive football team. This is an offensive football team. You could tell by the moves they are making and the people they are paying that we are transitioning from a defensive football team to an offensive football team. Jalen Hurts has 3 legit wide receivers, a top 5 tight end in the game, and a top 5 running back in the game. The blessing about this whole situation, when you add Dotson in the mix, you can't play a lot of man-to-man. Because if you play a lot of man-to-man, you don't have enough to make sure you can guard these boys. The safety or the number 3 corner cannot guard Dotson. The number 2 corner cannot guard Smitty. You know what? The number 1 corner can't guard AJ.
Knock, knock.
Go ahead.
You can't play zone either. We got to run it back. Come on, what can you play?
You got to play zone. You got to play zone. So that's why I said it's all on the quarterback, because there is no more excuses.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get going into football games. And if they do play you man-to-man, you should be able to deliver the ball. I remember one time, right, we had myself, we had Jordy Nelson, we had Greg Jennings, we had Donald Driver, right? We're going into New York to play the Jets. Revis Island.
Revis, Camardi.
They had Camardi, and they had Screen, I think, Buster Screener. 3 really good corners. The whole year, they playing man-to-man. Our corners is better than yours. We like, finally, we get to go into a game where we don't see cover 2, and we get to match up with dudes and play man-to-man. We get out to New York. I'm about to explain it to you.
He's getting there.
I need to
we get out there to New York. All zone coverage. And I'm like, Revis, what's up? Yeah. Like, all y'all showed was man-to-man. He said, we ain't got enough to guard y'all out here like that man-to-man. That is what Philly has now. Nobody has enough to match up across the board when you talk about man-to-man, right? All this is on Jalen Hurts. It's in your hands now. The ball is in your hands. You got a new offensive coordinator. You got shiny weapons out there. This team will go as far as Jalen Hurts will take him, because the matchups, can't nobody matchups. This is the best offense in football, including whoever you want to include.
Number 1 offense?
I wish
Number 1 offense, Dave?
Top 5. Can I go top 5? Can I go top 3?
I need a little bold prediction, a little more.
I wish I could tell myself 10 years ago I'd be debating this with 2 dudes who were balling when I started covering the league. Life comes at you fast. I'm with James. I mean, for starters, Howie Roseman loves a name, does he not? He
does.
Howie Roseman's going to find a guy that we all know about, whether it's Devin White, whether it's Shaq Leonard, whether it's Saquon Barkley. Well, I mean, he's gonna do what he can to add to his team. I can't wait to see how this goes. It is very strange to me, and I know the coaching staff changed in Washington. It's very interesting that they were willing to move on from a guy who's shown flashes over the first 2 years of his career and ship him out of town. First-round pick shipped out of town halfway through his rookie deal. That's strange to watch. But guys, was the talent in Philadelphia, was the problem in Philadelphia ever talent? Has that been the talent, I keep doing that. Is that the problem for Jalen Hurts this entire time? No. They already got the top, or one of the top receiver duos in the NFL. They added Saquon Barkley to that. We don't talk a lot about. The top. What's that?
The top.
The top receiver.
I
mean,
Miami, come on, DeSean.
The top. It's at least a conversation.
Fly, baby.
Well, it's definitely a conversation.
I feel like I'm talking to Shady right now. You had Saquon Barkley in the mix. People forget about Dallas Goedert as well. It's a great spot to be, to y'all's point, for Jahan Dotson. He's just got to make the plays that are there. I mean, you're talking half the target shares going to AJ and Devontae anyway. Yep. And then you add in Saquon Barkley. I think Kellen Moore is going to have something for Saquon Barkley as a receiver. There's not that many targets to go for Jahan Dotson, but if he can make the plays with the one that he gets, I think the ceiling is very, very high for this offense. Top 3, maybe even number 1 in the league. Yeah. But I think that applies to a lot of the years that the Eagles have been in this build. It wasn't talent that made them fall apart last year. It was relationships, execution, coaching. We haven't seen Kellen Moore's offense in Philadelphia. I'm curious to see how he incorporates this. I'm curious, to James's point, I'm curious to see how Jalen Hurts keeps all these guys happy. Jahan Dotson is a first-round pick who is probably so excited to be going to such a good offense. You got to worry about him. We obviously know you got to worry about Smitty and AJ. Saquon Barkley's got something to prove. You think he wants everybody in New York to realize what a mistake they made. All these guys want to shine, and it's going to be a heck of a challenge for Jalen Hurts to keep them all happy while also winning games. But it is very exciting to think about.
Here's a challenge to me. Talking to the fellas to my left, on 3rd and 6 or less, what coverage you getting?
You getting man-to-man, Jack.
Getting man-to-man, Jack.
I mean, he ain't coming in thinking the number 3, or I mean, he got to be like the 4th or 5th option. So he got to know that coming into the building.
You already know. So like James and Jack have alluded to, on 3rd and 6 or less, what we call money down in the NFL, you're getting man-to-man. Let me paint the picture for you at home on man-to-man coverage, the defense versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Cornerback 1 has to guard A.J. Brown. The cornerback number 2 has to guard Devontae Smith. The nickelback or cornerback 3 has to guard Jahan Dotson. A safety is going to have to roll down and guard Dallas Goedert. And the linebackers are going to go 2-on-1 on Saquon Barkley. If Saquon goes to the right linebacker has him. Saquon goes to the left linebacker has him. One safety's deep in the middle of the field. With that being said, if A.J. don't win, Smitty will win. If Smitty don't win, Dotson will win. If Dotson don't win, Goddard will win. If Goddard don't win, Saquon will win. What I'm telling y'all is one of those 5 Eagles players on money down is winning. And if they win, the Eagles gonna win. So as an offense, it will be very, 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 very hard to stop the Eagles because on 3rd and 6 or less, the game of football is not complicated. It is simple. You got to play man-to-man. Can your cat guard they cat? That's why they call it cat coverage.
Can I interject? Just to play devil's advocate,
Please do.
I hope the first-year starter at center picks up the pressure on 3rd and 6.
They're going to blitz for sure.
Jason Kelsey's not there. I'm just saying.
Can I give you one?
Talk to me, Jack.
Let me allude on this.
Talk to me, Jack.
He forgot about the most dangerous threat.
Who that there?
That's what
I got Jalen Hurts in the backfield that can run the ball.
Yeah,
with a safety that's at least, 20 back.
That's like, how do you play, to your point, Dave, blitz the Eagles if you want to? Because remember, in this picture of man-to-man I just said, there's a linebacker that's free that can help on Smitty. You know, usually we'll call it 1 star. Cover 1, put a star out there. Hey, if Jack's in the slot, hey, LB, as soon as height happens, hey, run a Jack, you trail Jack. Cornerback, you stay over the top of Jack. Jack's the star, cover 1 star. We're going to double-team Jack on that play. If you blitz, Jack can't get double.
Yeah.
And if Jack can't get double, the dude that averaged 22.3 yards per catch, he about to go average 80.
That's nice.
So if you want to blitz Jalen Hurts, again, football is simple, y'all. It's a game of numbers. You got 11. If you set an extra one at Jalen Hurts, you have less than 1 to backdoor and cover. I'm fascinated with how the Eagles' offense is going to get stopped.
Number 1, you don't blitz. Right?
I don't think you blitz.
You can't blitz because now Jalen Hurts could possibly use his legs, and it's just truly one-on-one out there opportunities, no help. Catch the ball, break a tackle, they gone.
Yes, sir.
So you can't blitz. You have to force Jalen Hurts to throw this ball to the spot consistently. I think that is what defenses are going to do. Another thing a defense cannot do, because you talked about the number 1 corner go over there with A.J., the number 2 corner go over there with Smitty. The number 1 corner can't travel. That's what you're not going to be able to do, because you basically have 2 number 1s in Smitty and in A.J. Brown. So the number 1 corner cannot travel. So that's even worse for any of these defenses.
Break
because
down
now
what you mean when you say cannot travel. I know
if you were playing the Denver Broncos and they got Pat Surtain out there, usually he'll follow the number 1 receiver. Devontae Adams over there, he go with Devontae Adams. He's sitting back in the huddle. Okay, Devontae going to the left. He going to the left. He's shadowing Devontae Adams wherever he goes because there's nobody else really on the Raiders that can really beat you and dominate a football game. The Eagles, you cannot do that. Smitty's a number 1 corner. So if you put your number 2 corner on Smitty, you in trouble. And then when you don't travel, now you got your number 1 corner on Smitty, and A.J. Brown has the number 2 corner. So Jalen Hurts is in a very, very, very good situation right now to where all these looks that he is going to get is going to be very, very simple. He just has to deliver the ball.
Dave, I got a question for you, because who's in a great situation until it becomes terrible is the man I'm about to name. Kellen Moore.
Ooh, yes, sir.
You, Dave Helman, have known of Kellen Moore since before he was an OC, when he was a QB coach. I believe he was a quarterback coach.
No,
when he was a quarterback.
Just a regular old quarterback.
When he was a quarterback,
third-string quarterback
for the Dallas Cowboys, before ascending to be the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator. Dave Helman has covered the Cowboys for the last 10 to 15 years. So talk to me, Dave. You saw Kellen Moore unravel with the Cowboys. I say unravel because he fell out of favor with the fan base. He was still great. Coordinated the number 1 offense.
Unravel, they had a top 5 offense the year he left.
But he fell out of favor with the fan base.
Yes.
What pressure will Kellen Moore have? Because he had Amari Cooper, plus CeeDee Lamb, plus Dak Prescott, plus the tight end at the time actually was still kind of trying to, Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz. They had end-of-career Jason Witten as well.
So talk to me about
options. Yeah.
Kellen Moore. Does he have a lot of pressure, and do you expect him to live up to the hype?
Of course he's got a lot of pressure. It's Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia after what happened last year. And I think highly of Kellen Moore. I do think there are criticisms that you can make of his offense. I think it can be very static. I hope the Eagles make use of motion more than what we saw from the Cowboys at the end of his time in Dallas. But the pressure is the big part of it for me. And again, I'm not trying to call anybody in Philly like a bad guy, but there are expectations of success on a team level and on an individual level. Again, these are all very, very good players that want to shine. Whether
more pressure, Hurts or Kellen?
I would probably say Kellen because, James, I hear you. Jalen Hurts is facing a lot of expectation this year, but Jalen Hurts got paid. And Jalen Hurts, not only is he making QB1 money, but it's hard to move on from a quarterback making that type of money. It's hard to cut Jalen Hurts. It is not hard to fire Kellen Moore because the offense is disappointing, if for some reason it is, which I don't expect.
I'm a youth offensive coordinator right now, 13U.
You feeling the pressure?
And 11U, right? I'm an offensive coordinator. If you give me Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Smitty, and now Dotson, I don't care who calling the plays. Jalen Hurts, the ball is in your hands. If we cannot win and move this ball and score points, this has nothing to do with the offensive coordinator calling the plays. They have too many playmakers for the other team to guard. So it don't matter who calling the plays. If we running it, throwing it, we have too much for y'all to guard.
My only counterpoint to that, I think in 26 NFL cities, the diehards know who the coordinators are, but like the casual fan doesn't know who these guys are. In Philly last year, when it was going bad, the whole fan base was like, Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, we got to get these guys out of here. They are not doing the job. If something is going wrong in Philly, and again, knowing that whether he's good or bad, Jalen Hurts isn't getting cut, Kellen Moore is going to shoulder a lot of angst and a lot of criticism in that city if for some reason it's not good.
Jack, you played on an offense where it was yourself out there. Shady McCoy was out there. Mike Vick was at quarterback, first-round pick. Jeremy Maclin was out there. Brent Selleck was out there at tight end. What's the mindset of the Eagles offense going into the game? You've been on an Eagles offense with incredible names, the names I just mentioned. First-round picks, a receiver, all-time rushing leader, running back, a tight end that's an Eagles all-time great, a quarterback that's a legend. Take me, because you specifically, more than anybody in the world right now, can paint the picture of what's the Eagles' offensive mindset when they're stepping out on the field.
Yeah, great question. I think for me, sometimes too much can be a problem. Let's just say that first and foremost.
Why? You need to break this down.
Too much can be a problem, and the reason why I say that is because it's only one football that can go around. For those of y'all sitting at home, Jalen Hurts has to distribute one football. It's not multiple footballs. So regardless if we got the world, we can have an all-class world. Back in 2010, we brought in Vince Young, right? And they called us the Dream Team. And that kind of gave us a morale around the locker room where that kind of like made us big-headed, and we forgot to stick to the roots and the working. So for me, what I'm saying is our mentality was, you know what, at any given time, we knew we had Jeremy Maclin, we had McCoy, we had Selleck, we had Jason Avant. You know what I'm saying? So for us, whoever could get it done, get it done. And we can't be greedy because at times, I got mad. I'm not going to lie. Jeremy Maclin was eating. I'm on the other side. I'm like, I'm D-Jack. I'm open too. McNabb, Vic, give me the rock. I'm just going to be real. I'm a guy. So for me, you can't be selfish. You can't be stingy. You got to understand sometimes your number might not be called. And you know what? If it's not getting called, be a team player. If you eating and I ain't eating, you know what? Come on, keep going. When my time comes, I got to be there and be ready. Because at the end of the day, if you mad, you might miss your play. And you know about that.
Jack, how hard is that to do in the moment? And you know what? Y'all both speak to this. Because obviously, Jack, you grown now. You mature. You played 15 years in the league. You got a Super Bowl ring. You're one of the greatest deep threats ever. You've accomplished everything there is to accomplish. But go back to 24-year-old Jack.
Oh, yeah, I'm hot.
In 2010. How hard will it be for A.J. Brown and Goddard, or because they're paid, will it be easier?
Nah, I mean, the money don't, I ain't gonna lie, it don't change anything. At the end of the day, I'm paid. I appreciate that, but I want to ball. At the end of the day, I want to be at the top of the top. When the stats come out, the statistics and Pro Bowls, all pros, you want to be up there. And for me, That was hard. The 24-year-old D-Jack, now I'm reverting back because now I'm 37, so I'm going to revert back a little bit. It was times I was mad. I wouldn't even talk to my teammates sometimes. I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm going to tell you the real. I used to go home mad like, damn, probably say something to my coach. But at the end of the day, you know what? For the team aspect and for the team morale, you have to be a team player as much as. And the reason why I'm mad is because I know what I can do when I get the ball. It's all to help the team. Yeah. So as long as it's for the team, I think it's a great thing.
Well, speaking of that, I got to just real quickly remind Jack what he did when he did get the ball with Jalen Hurts, because y'all did play together for a moment in time. So Jack was talking about it, but I just want to make sure y'all can see what Jack was doing.
I was a 35-year-old Jack. 34? What was I, 34?
Yeah. Still running, though. Give me that.
That's Trayvon Diggs and ooh.
Not fast
Watch how I slip on him. That's Trayvon. Oh, come here, little young fella. Off the hurt ankle. I missed like half the season. Came back. That was my first game back.
That's 35-year-old Jack.
That's like 34. Yeah, I think I was like 34. 2020, I think that was.
2020, he is correct.
I was there. I was there.
Dave, you was mad at me?
I saw that and I said, he's still doing this. All these years
I knew I was going to do it. I told him before the playoffs, I'm about to go deep. You better get back.
Okay, now for clarity, DeSean Jackson, yards per catch in his career, 17.6.
Yeah. Come on now. Come on, JJ.
James Jones.
Come on, JJ.
13.7.
Hey, that's what the big doing. And not to mention.
There's no way.
And not to mention, 2 or 3 of them years I led the league in yards per catch.
You want to know what's good about this, though? People know that's just an authentic question. I ain't got no notes.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.